Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the 9 best electric SUVs under $40,000 in USA. Number 9. The Volvo EX30. The EX30 is Volvo's compact electric SUV that lands in the US with a base price under $40,000 in its single-motor trim, making it one of the more affordable EV SUVs you can buy from a premium brand in America. Early U.S. pricing announced for the single-motor extended range Core and Plus trims starts around the mid-$30,000 before destination charges, with EPA estimated range figures that matter in real life for daily driving and highway travel. With the EX30's starting dollars in the high 30s range, it puts a fully electric SUV within reach for buyers who want modern EV tech plus a strong brand reputation without crossing the $40,000 line. Volvo builds in safety tech that U.S. drivers expect, and you get modern features like wireless Apple CarPlay and Google built-in even on lower trims, which adds value for what you pay. The EX30's range is competitive for the price class, and that makes it a strong candidate if you want electric commuting and weekend range without stretching your budget. If you're focused on the dollars and want an electric SUV that fits under $40,000 while still offering the peace of mind of Volvo's name and U.S. dealer support, the EX30 is worth a close look. Number 8. The Subaru Solterra. The Solterra is Subaru's first all-electric SUV, and the 2025 model now starts at about $38,000 in the US. That pricing puts it under $40,000 before any federal or state incentives, making it one of the few AWD electric SUVs at that price point for 2025. Subaru cut around $6,500 off its base price for 2025, a big move in the US EV market where most SUVs edge above $40,000. With that dollar figure, many buyers can qualify for the full $7,500 federal tax credit on eligible purchases or leases, which could lower the net cost even more depending on your tax situation. Standard all-wheel drive on the Solterra gives it traction benefits in rain or snow that aren't common in EVs at this price, where front drive is more typical. The base Solterra Premium offers an EPA-estimated range in the low 220s of miles, which works for daily commutes and routine errands if you plan around charging stops. That AWD setup and the range place the Solterra in competition with other compact EVs for U.S. buyers who want everyday usability without paying more than $40,000 before incentives. If you're careful about the trims and choose the entry-level version, the Solterra lets you get into an electric SUV with Subaru's safety features and dealer network without breaking the budget. Number 7. Toyota bZ4X. The 2026 Toyota bZ4X now starts at about $38,000 in the US for the XLE front-wheel drive trim, with destination included, putting it clearly under $40,000 right off the lot. With that price cut of around $6,000 compared with last year's model, Toyota has positioned the bZ4X as one of the more affordable electric SUVs from a major brand you can buy new in America. That starting dollar figure is significant because many EV SUVs still hover above $40,000 before incentives, and qualifying for the federal tax credit on an EV can bring your net cost even lower depending on your tax situation. Toyota's move to drop prices on the bZ4X helps it compete in a crowded EV market, matching up better with rivals that offer similar range and comfort for similar dollars. The base EPA estimated range tops around the mid-250 miles on select trims, which works for most daily travel and many weekend trips without frequent charging stops. If you price it carefully and factor in available federal and any state EV credits, the bZ4X can sit comfortably under the $40,000 mark, while delivering an all-electric SUV experience from a name most Americans already know. Number 6. Volkswagen ID.4 Standard. The 2026 ID.4 lineup in the US brings back a base trim that keeps the starting dollars under $40,000, with the ID.4 standard or limited trim listed at around $39,995 MSRP before destination in 2025 for rear-wheel drive versions. That price lets it sit just under the $40,000 sticker target that many electric SUV buyers are watching. The base ID.4 standard comes with a smaller battery pack than the larger 77 kWh options, and EPA estimated range for similar earlier trims was enough for typical daily use and moderate highway travel, though it trails higher range versions. With the base price close to $40,000, eligible buyers can still stack federal EV tax credits and potential state incentives, which can pull the out-of-pocket price even lower and improve the value equation for Americans shopping under a strict budget. Qualifying for that $7,500 federal credit often depends on model eligibility and your tax situation, but it can make the net cost much more appealing. Volkswagen also offers access to expanded charging networks and a broad dealer footprint across the U.S., which matters if you want physical support and service near you. Walking away with an electric SUV that hits the sub-$40,000 range before incentives is a solid checkbox for cost-conscious buyers. Tell me when you're ready for the next one. Number 5. The Fiat 500e. The Fiat 500e is one of the cheapest electric vehicles you can buy new in the U.S., with a starting price around $32,500 before destination. Even after fees, it stays well under the $40,000 mark, which makes it appealing for buyers who want to go electric without spending crossover money. For city and short-distance driving, the 500e's EPA estimated range of about 149 miles fits its price and purpose. It is not built for long road trips, but for daily commuting, errands, and urban use. That range keeps charging costs low and ownership simple. Electricity costs in many U.S. states are far cheaper than gas, and that helps offset the smaller battery when you look at monthly expenses. Because the starting price is already low, any available state rebates or lease incentives can push the effective cost closer to the high $20,000 range, depending on where you live. That is rare in today's EV market. While it is smaller than most SUVs, the Fiat 500e still fits into the electric SUV discussion for budget-focused buyers who value ease of parking, low running costs, and a simple electric setup. If your goal is to get into an electric vehicle under $40,000 without stretching your budget or relying heavily on incentives, the Fiat 500e stands out as one of the most affordable electric options available in the U.S. Number 4. Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf remains one of the most affordable electric vehicles sold in the U.S., with a starting price around $28,000 for the base trim before destination. Even the higher trim stays well under $40,000, which makes it a clear budget pick for buyers who want to go electric without locking themselves into a high monthly payment. In straight dollar terms, it is still cheaper than most electric SUVs on sale today. That lower price matters because it keeps ownership costs predictable. When you combine the Leaf's price with the potential $7,500 federal EV tax credit, the effective cost can drop into the low $20,000 range for eligible buyers. That puts it close to the price of many gas-powered compact SUVs, while daily running costs stay lower thanks to electricity being cheaper than fuel in most U.S. states. The EPA estimated range varies by trim, with the higher battery version offering over 200 miles, which is enough for daily commuting and regular highway use. Charging costs are reasonable, and for drivers who mostly charge at home, the Leaf can be one of the cheapest vehicles to run month to month. Nissan's long history with the Leaf in the U.S. market adds confidence for buyers who want a proven electric name rather than a first-year model. If your priority is spending the least amount of money to get into a reliable electric vehicle that fits under $40,000 without effort, the Nissan Leaf still makes strong financial sense. Number 3. Kia Niro. The Kia Niro EV fits cleanly into the under $40,000 electric SUV space in the U.S., with a starting price around $39,000 before destination. That pricing is important because it lets buyers stay under the $40,000 line without relying on heavy discounts. After destination, it sits just over that mark, but lease deals and incentives often pull the real-world cost back down. From a dollar's point of view, the Niro EV makes sense for buyers who want a balanced electric SUV without jumping into premium pricing. The EPA estimated range of around 253 miles is strong for this price bracket. That range works well for daily commuting, highway driving, and weekend use without frequent charging stops. Charging costs remain lower than gas in most U.S. regions, which helps keep long-term ownership expenses under control. For buyers comparing total cost, that steady range-to-price ratio is one of the Niro EV's biggest strengths. Kia's growing presence in the U.S. EV market also plays a role here. If your goal is to buy an electric SUV that stays close to $40,000, delivers usable range, and avoids premium pricing traps, the Kia Niro EV checks the right boxes without asking for extra dollars upfront. Number 2. Chevrolet Equinox EV. The Chevrolet Equinox EV enters the U.S. market with a starting price around $34,000 for the base front-wheel drive model, which clearly places it under the $40,000 mark before destination. That number alone makes it one of the most aggressive value plays among electric SUVs right now, especially from a brand with a long sales and service footprint across the country. Chevrolet has focused on keeping the base cost realistic, and that matters when many competing EVs drift well past $40,000 once fees are added. Federal EV incentives also play a big role here. Depending on eligibility, the $7,500 federal tax credit can drop the effective cost closer to the high $20,000 range, which is a serious shift in total dollars paid. Range is another reason this model stands out for the price. Chevrolet targets an EPA estimate of around 300 miles for select trims, which is strong for an EV that starts below $35,000. That helps keep charging stops fewer and makes it easier to rely on as a daily vehicle rather than a second car. When you factor in the low entry price, available incentives, solid range, and nationwide dealer support, the Equinox EV sets a high bar for value. For buyers focused on dollars first and electric second, this is one of the smartest under $40,000 EV SUV options available today. Number 1. Hyundai Kona. The Hyundai Kona Electric stays firmly in the under $40,000 electric SUV category in the U.S., with a starting price around $32,000 before destination. Even after fees, it remains comfortably below the $40,000 line, which is a big deal in a market where many EVs quickly climb into the mid-$40,000 range. From a straight cost view, the Kona Electric gives buyers room to manage taxes and registration without blowing past their budget. That lower starting price also improves the total ownership math. Range is another strong point for the money. The EPA estimated range sits around 261 miles, which works well for daily commuting, highway driving, and light road trips. That range helps keep charging stops reasonable and reduces anxiety for buyers switching from gas for the first time. Charging costs are also lower than fuel in most U.S. states, which helps keep monthly expenses predictable. Hyundai's growing EV presence in the U.S. adds confidence for long-term ownership. Dealer coverage is wide, service access is easy to find, and warranty support is competitive. When you combine the low entry price, solid range, and strong incentive potential, the Hyundai Kona Electric stands out as one of the smartest under $40,000 electric SUV choices in the US right now. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.